All right, so we're gonna watch this video. Um, this will help us develop our SOPs for on the ground, and we're gonna be using squad movement formations that was released, I believe, by the Army. So we'll stop halfway, in between, and we'll talk about it. Uh, you should get acquainted with this. So the video is about 6 minutes and 36 seconds. We'll probably add like an extra 5 minutes to that, just so everybody understands what the movement should be on the ground. Okay, here we go. Right, very self-explanatory. Oh yes, unclassified.
Movement refers to shifting of forces on the battlefield. The key to moving successfully involves selecting the best combination of movement formations and movement techniques for each situation. You must consider factors of MET-TC in selecting the best route and the appropriate formation and movement technique.
All right, this is very important for you, squad leaders, team leaders. Um, Doing a map recon prior to the mission, and of course, once you get to the ground, things will change. But the terrain will dictate how you're gonna move and what you expect to encounter during your movement. So if you're, I don't know, 10 clicks out from where you expect, from your RP, your release point, you're fairly safe. So you're probably gonna be moving on a column, which they will explain over here. But if you pass the RP and you're beginning on your first phase lines, you want to consider the terrain. Once you get on the ground, you look at it. You'll see over here they start basically on a wedge formation, which is very easily um, manuable. I guess you could say you can move your teams to flank left, right. Um, when you're in a wedge formation, pretty easy to come online and put all your firepower to the front. So basically, you're gonna see over here columns, files, which kind of the same, but it depends on what you're trying to do and the speed. You're gonna see uh, bounding Overwatch, and you're gonna see how they utilize the basic formations, so you can mass fires on your enemies depending on the situation you're in. But again, is very dependent to your terrain. So let's continue to look. And yeah, MET TC mission, enemy, terrain, and weather, troops, and support available, time available, and then your civil considerations. So if you're a team leader, squad leader, uh, you need to keep this in mind. All right, let's watch the next 30 seconds and then we'll stop again.
There are three squad movement formations: squad column, squad line, and squad file. Squad column is normally used as the primary formation. Squad line is used when maximum firepower is required to the front. Squad file is used within close terrain, vegetation, or limited visibility conditions.
All right, so right there, that's what I was just telling you about. Okay, so you see over here your squad column. Um, this is when you're ready, most probably past your RP point, your release point, and you're starting to move towards your first phase line. You're not necessarily thinking you're gonna encounter um, contact, but you might. Therefore, you're ready. So you can see this is your wedge right here. You got your team leader, rifleman, grenadier, rifleman, just squad leader over here, right? So then here's your other fire team. Now, once you're in the squad column, if anything should happen, you could shift these guys to the left flank, to the right flank, or have come on line with you and you mass fires, which will put you into a line, right? So That's how you could go ahead and maneuver your teams. So in your head, you should have had done your map recon, and now you're on the ground. So now it's live, and you can see how you're gonna maneuver your teams. And prior to that, right here, your squad file. You're not necessarily thinking that you're gonna find that you're gonna become in contact, and so this is more for speed and less likelihood of contact. All right, let's continue hearing what they're saying.
The squad file has the same characteristics of the fireteam file. The position of the squad leader and team leaders can be adjusted depending on the situation. It may not always be best to have the team leader as the point man. The squad file provides the easiest method of control, but is the most difficult formation from which to maneuver. This formation provides maximum immediate fire to the flanks, but masks most fire to the front and rear. Moving in the squad file provides the least amount of security to the unit. The squad line provides limited maneuver capability due to both fire teams being committed. This formation concentrates the maximum amount of the unit's firepower to the front end and is typically used during the establishment of a support by fire position. The squad line provides.
All right, again, so squad line, right? Remember we said this is um, your maximum fire where you could, everything front. So mind you, I come from armor, from tanks, but the tactics are sound and they still stand the same for infantry. So basically, uh, if you come online, so okay, first remember the wedge. Okay, the wedge is very important because that wedge. So if you got contact right, now you heavy on the right. So contact right means just small fire, right? You switch over and you engage. Now, if you have action, action will mean something heavier, right? So then you could just shift, whether it's left, right, or forward. You bring everybody up in line, and this should happen automatically. If you hear, contact left, contact right, you just engage. It's not a problem, right? Now, if you hear action, okay, and these are the words that we need to get used to. Action means it's something heavier, and we need full firepower. That's where you come online, and it's very easy to maneuver a wedge. If you have action right, you just come up online, you flip the left side. Those two guys or three guys that you have on the left, you flip them over and come on what they're calling here a squad line, and then you engage. Okay, let's continue.
provides very little security to the flank and rear. The squad column is the most common movement formation and provides the best compromise.
Okay, this one right here is what you guys on the ground need to get used to and should practice, and this is how you should move. And you will see why, because it's so, well, maybe not so easy, but it's the most flexible for you to move into a contact situation or an action situation. Remember, action heavier than small arms. Okay, small arms is just contact. Okay, so get used to saying contact left, contact right, or another very thing that is important. You need to remember your direction of travel, whether it's north, east, west, or south, will always be 12 o'clock. Right? That's something you need to remember whenever you're moving. You're not calling cardinal directions. So if you have contact, 9 o'clock, you like contact 9 o'clock or contact left. Remember, directional travel is always 12 o'clock.
Between the squad line and squad file. It allows the most flexibility for the majority of situations. This formation facilitates maneuver and provides good dispersion laterally and in depth. The squad leader has the best control in the squad column. When the squad moves independently or as the rear element of the platoon, the rifleman in the rear fire team provides rear security, rendering all-around security. Leaders must know how to select a formation based on.
All right. For all you squad leads and you grunts leading your teams, this is how you think. This is how you need to start thinking. The terrain, what you think you're gonna encounter, and the speed. uh, You know, so okay, again, the squad column that they calling that's your wedge. That's the most flexible, like you said, because you can maneuver real easily. Squad line, yeah, it it leaves your flanks somewhat well, no, it definitely leaves your flanks unguarded. But the reason you move online will be because you want the max firepower towards where the action is. Um, I wouldn't necessarily use a line or common line on a contact situation unless it's a heavy contact. You know what I mean? If it's an overwhelming force. Um, Something that I didn't see that they do here. There's echelon left and echelon right. It's a different type of movement, and if they don't cover, I'll cover it afterwards. Um, but I think on the ground you might not want to use that. But anyways, take a look at this. Take this in for what it's worth, and it basically tells you when you want to use it, where you want to use it, and again, it covers the when you want to use it, the control, the flexibility of such formation, the capabilities and restrictions of that formation, and what type of security it gives you. But all of that as a team leader or a squad leader, um, fire team leader, whoever's on the ground, you need to take in consideration the map again. That the map recon, and you have it on your head, and you know where you want to move your forces and what you want to engage. So if you're taking light fire, you definitely don't want to go online, right? You could just engage. Anyways, let's continue.
On which one best allows control, flexibility, firepower, and security. Movement techniques are the position of your squads and fire teams in relation to each other while moving. There are three movement techniques:
Captain Rom, Flashburn, um, who's the other one? Bacon, and who else was the other leader? Tahoe. Yeah. Keep in mind, and this is a visual. They did a great job on this, so you got to picture the battlefield. And I believe that was one of the things that Rome touched on today, Captain Rome, uh, when he said you're you're a cog on a bigger picture, but if you're in a leadership position, that's what he means. Um, you got to look at the big picture. You cannot get tunnel vision. You get tunnel vision, you lose situational awareness, tactical awareness. You will lose, or you will lose some of your guys. So have the big picture in your head. And
traveling,
here it is.
traveling overwatch, and bounding overwatch.
Remember I told you about bounding, right? So it's basically you shoot, I move type of thing when you went through basic or boot camp, whatever you guys might call it. And I think the Navy calls it beauty school. I don't
Like formations, movement techniques provide your unit with varying degrees of control, security, and flexibility. The squad traveling formation is used when enemy contact is not likely.
know. Okay. One of the important things on going on formation is knowing maintaining that distance in your sectors of fire. So, squad leader, you need to teach your guys what their sectors of fire. Like, say this rifleman right here on the bottom. Okay, so now this guy will have from there to here about what is that, 45 degrees, and then up here you don't want to flag your man. Same over here, grenadier, overlapping sectors of fire. This one's got your right flank, and again, overlapping sectors of fire. Do not mess you guys. That's why distance is important. So within the SOP, we need to establish. You want to be about 10 10 meters, maybe 15 at the most, depending on the terrain. And and then you could flex. You could flex left, flex right. So your appointment over here, you got your squad leader. Again, you're seeing the big picture. So you're gonna know if over here the animation they flex left. So you got contact left or 9 o'clock, then you're gonna shift, lift and shift, right? Okay, here we go.
The travel technique offers the best speed and control during maneuver, but offers the least dispersion and security because the trail team follows closely behind the lead fire team. Because teams are closer during movement, the travel technique is easier for the squad leader to control. It is not normally used in enemy territory. Traveling Overwatch is used when enemy contact is possible, but the squad must move quickly to accomplish the mission. The lead fire team is pushed out further, approximately 50 meters, so that if contact is made with the enemy, the squad leader can limit that contact to the lead fire team. This allows the squad leader to maneuver the trail fire team around the lead team without the maneuver team being engaged by the enemy.
So you see what I'm saying about the big picture. Um, Once you're up on the at that level where you're leading your guys, they're gonna follow whatever you say. But you need to have an idea of what you're doing, where you're engaging, the terrain. So you got to keep all that in mind, right? Flexing that formation is essential uh, to command and control, which is what you charge with as a leader. We need to maintain control of the battlefield. You lose control of the battlefield, you're fucked. All right, and your guys are fucked. So you gotta have the big picture mentality. All right, you gotta look at the grand scheme of things. Traveling Overwatch, as I said over here, it's contact is not really likely but possible, and it grants you the speed. Okay, let's continue.
Bounding Overwatch is used when contact with an enemy force is expected or when crossing a large open danger area. One fire team is always in an Overwatch position, prepared to lay down a base of fire while the other fire team maneuvers. This is the slowest movement technique and the most difficult to control, but it provides the best dispersion and fire control.
All right, basically, bounding Overwatch is you can think of it as leapfrogging. One team sets, and then the other one moves. One team sets, and the other one moves. And you're not moving right behind each other, right? So it's like you'll shift left, the other one moves on the right side, then you just leap over each other. You set and provide cover. All right. Now remember that cover needs to be 360. All right. Your machine gunner in this, you want to keep them on the flanks um, to provide the suppressive, which you're gonna need it. Uh, one thing I want to say, you always want to have another rifleman, or I guess it would be an assistant machine gunner. But in our case, we wouldn't have enough people for that, so we'll just put a rifleman, right? So it'll be you engage, shoot immediately. That saw gunner, he needs to put down suppressive. Remember, suppressive is an area target weapon. It's not precise. All you want to do is have them keep their heads down. You do about, a 15, 20 round burst. Shoot, they engage. You shoot again, and you just keep their heads down. All right? That's something that I don't cover here, but that's something that you want to do.
When contact is made, the fire team in contact becomes the base of fire team to destroy or suppress the enemy. The fire team not in contact maneuvers to destroy the enemy.
All right, that's what I was telling you. You put down that suppressive, and unless you have enough firepower, you don't want to go straight at it. Flank this son of a bitch. All right, always think flanking. Somebody, you fix the target, the other team flanks.
If the squad leader decides to break contact, The fire team not in contact occupies a support by fire position where it can direct fire on the enemy force. This allows the fire team in contact to disengage and fall back to a covered and concealed position. They provide covering fire while the other fire team disengages.
By the way, something he's not saying here, he's just saying it passively because everybody should understand this. But covering concealment, two different things, right? Cover, maybe behind a tree, a vehicle, or something like that. You have cover. Concealment, maybe you're on a reverse slope and you could go on a deflate, and now you have concealment and cover, right? So keep that in mind.
This process continues until the squad successfully breaks contact with the enemy. There are two types of bounding Overwatch: successive bound and alternate bound. In the successive bound, the teams bound forward to a covered and concealed position, generally parallel with the other teams. In the alternate bound, the bounding fire team does not stop parallel with the Overwatch fire team, but moves beyond the Overwatch fire team.
So that's the leapfrogging. That's your basic bounding Overwatch, right? And it's a continuous move, and you need to have proper communication to where you're like set, So you wanna your teams, you'll have alpha section, bravo section. It's like bravo set, alpha move, alpha set, bravo move, and you'll continue to move that way. Okay, and this works on vehicles and on the ground.
Bounding Overwatch provides the most control, the most dispersion, and the most security, but at the cost of speed. The squad leader must consider MET-TC and the advantages and disadvantages to the 3 squad movement techniques to move the unit and accomplish the assigned mission.
All right, here you go, team leads, squad leads, LTs, platoon sergeants. When you're moving you guys, this is what you need to consider. All right. Even the captain. The captain will give you your intent on the op order. He'll tell you where he wants you to go, and you figure out how we're gonna get there, and if you're gonna fuck you guys over or you're gonna get them there. Using a formation and using the SOPs will lessen the the possibilities of you being overwhelmed by hostiles.
Of the 3 squad movement formations and 3 squad movement techniques, the squad leader must choose from a variety of factors which is the one best suited for his mission and his environment.
All right. So just to wrap it all up, these are just basics, but this is the things that you as a team leader, squad leader, need to know. Big picture. That's what Rome was talking about. Um, Here's the basic movement procedures. You need to drill this on your guys' head. Look, these videos, they're not that long. I think this is gonna be like 15 minutes. It's well worth to have every single one of our guys watch this and understand what's going on the big picture, because the rifleman, he's just following whatever you tell him. But if they get to understand what we're actually doing, this will have a huge impact on how we work as a unit. You know, our cohesion and how lethal we could be is gonna make a big difference. Have you guys watch this video? I put them out, and I'll do some more on mounted SOPs, or standard operating procedures. Not that we have any implemented yet, but we should. Again, everybody watch this. This is Romeo 6.